She slid the divorce papers across the kitchen island with a smirk that could cut glass. "You're finished," she sneered. I didn't argue. I didn't blink. I just nodded, signed the bottom corner, and handed the pen back. An hour later, her phone buzzed. A board notification, urgent, encrypted, marked internal ethics violation. She opened it, and every ounce of color drained from her face like blood from a corpse. She looked at me like she was seeing a stranger. She was. Her name's Ava. We met 8 years ago at a leadership conference in Austin. She was all fire, sharp wit, high heels, eyes like ambition. I was quieter, steady. She liked that about me back then. We built a life, a condo near the water, morning coffee rituals, friends who called us solid. She climbed fast, VP by 35, corporate darling. I never got in her way. I cheered her on from the sidelines, took care of the things she forgot. But love built on admiration turns to resentment when success becomes routine. She changed, or maybe she stopped pretending. I noticed it around our 7th anniversary. A name she mentioned twice, Derek from Legal. The tone was too casual, the smile lingered a bit too long. Then came the after-hours meetings, trips she didn't tell me about, locked screens, silence during dinner. And worst of all, absence, even when she was in the room. I didn't jump to conclusions. I gathered details, patterns, voice recordings, screenshots, timestamps, receipts, evidence. When you prepare for war, you don't rush the attack. You study terrain, you track movement, you build leverage. I built quietly. It wasn't just Derek, there were 2 others. She used her title like a shield. Office romances, conflicts of interest, all swept under the rug because she hit quotas and made shareholders rich. I could have confronted her, but Ava doesn't respond to emotions. She weaponizes them. I needed something stronger. I needed ruin. I found what I needed in the company handbook. Zero tolerance for undisclosed relationships between leadership and subordinates. Violations meant forced resignation, loss of equity, and mandatory review of all closed contracts signed under influence. She had signed 7. 2 with Derek, 1 while sleeping with the firm's auditor, Thomas Shaw, married, father of 3. You don't destroy people by yelling, you destroy them by letting truth speak louder. So I compiled a file, not just photos and messages, contracts, audio, dates, company policies highlighted in red, cross-referenced timelines. It was immaculate. It was final. I sent it to one person, the chairman of the board. Direct, no sender, just truth in black and white. Then I waited. She handed me the papers a week later. I think she expected me to beg, to cry, to grovel. Instead, I signed in 30 seconds. She raised an eyebrow. Nothing to say? I looked her in the eye and said, no. Because when justice is already in motion, there's no need for noise. An hour later, it arrived. I heard the vibration on the countertop. She was pouring wine. She glanced at the screen, then froze. I watched her hand tighten on the stem of the glass, watched her swallow, slow and dry. She tapped the screen, read it once, then again. She didn't speak, just sat down, like her legs couldn't hold her anymore. They gave her 1 day to respond. She tried, she scrambled, called Derek, then Thomas. They didn't answer. They knew. The board doesn't warn twice. Her options were to resign quietly or face a public review. Either way, she was done. Her reputation, gone. Equity, seized. Severance, denied. Legacy, rewritten. That evening she tried to talk to me. Her voice shook. "You destroyed my life." I sipped my tea. "No, you built the bomb. I just let it go off." Her lip trembled. "Why didn't you just leave?" "Because you didn't ask for freedom. You asked for my silence. You wanted to walk away clean." I stood up. And I wanted you to know what finished really looks like. She moved out 3 days later. I kept the condo, the silence, and my peace. She left behind her wedding ring, a drawer full of luxury skincare, and a career in ashes. Do I regret it? No. I regret loving someone who mistook my kindness for weakness. She thought loyalty meant submission. She thought betrayal would make her freer, richer, better. All it made her was vulnerable. She handed me the papers thinking it was her power play. She didn't realize I'd already played the final move. Now when people say her name at her old firm, they lower their voices. No one talks about the affairs, just the fall. And me? I wake up to quiet, the kind that doesn't ache. And every time I pass that signature page she thought would break me, I smile. Because I didn't fight her. I just let her destroy herself with her own choices. I was just the